You're listening to the ADHD Support Talk Radio podcast. ADHD Support Talk is brought to you by addclasses.com. Visit www.addclasses.com and sign up for free webinars and online events today. Hello, and welcome back to ADHD Support Talk Radio. I'm your co-host, Lynne Edris, and I am a productivity coach, so I help overwhelmed professionals reduce procrastination, improve time management, and get more done with less effort so that they have more time and more energy for the things that matter most to them. So I am a woman with ADHD myself, guys, and I have been where so many of my clients are, and I've come out the other side, so to speak. So I've gone from living in that constant state of chaos and overwhelm and underperformance that we all know far too well to live a life of more success and fulfillment than I once dreamed was possible for me. And I believe deep down that you can share the same success yourself, whatever that looks like for you, when you learn to live well with your ADHD. So you can learn more about me, what I do, and the programs and services I offer at www.coachingadvantages.com. So today I want to talk about a topic that it strikes at the heart of many of us. So we're going to dive deep into a topic that is near and dear to our hearts. We're diving headfirst into the murky waters of follow-through. So it's the ever elusive force that often stands between us and our aspirations. So if you're looking for that bridge between your potential and the reality of your actions, you are in the right place. If you are listening to me today, you have had those moments where you set your sights on doing something and you're full of certainty, you're full of determination. This time I've got it, right? That's what we often tell ourselves. But somewhere along the way, life conspires against us, or we get in our own way, and our well-intentioned plans get lost in the shuffle of life. So I have been coaching adults with ADHD from all over the world for more than 17 years. And poor follow-through has always been the number 2 complaint of people who come to me for help. Okay. The number 1 complaint is unmet potential. And those two things are totally connected. If you are not following through on your intentions, if you are not showing up as the person you really are consistently, of course you're not living up to your potential, right? And the pain that comes from that disconnect, that disconnect that is the gap between our performance and our potential, is where some of the greatest pain comes from when you're an adult with ADHD. It's that feeling, that punch you in the gut feeling you get when you realize once again that who you really are deep down and the way you've shown up in the world just don't seem to align. And you've let yourself down again. You've let other people down again. And that disconnect, that pain is like nothing else. It really cuts you to the core, right? So if that's you, if this is resonating with you, you are not alone. Again, I'm a woman with ADHD, guys, so I lived in that gap. I felt that sting, that pain. And again, I've come out the other side, so to speak. So I really want you to know that it doesn't have to be that way, right? You really can break free from the chains of underperformance and guilt and stress and poor follow through that have been holding you back for so long. But doing that begins with understanding, with identifying the true root cause of your poor follow through. Because guys, if you don't address your challenges at their very core, at the root cause, it's impossible to solve them once and for all. So like I said, I've been there, right? And I've worked with thousands of adults. I have no idea how many over the years, just like you, to solve it. So you are definitely not alone here. It usually goes something like this. Like, I have the best intentions of taking care of this thing, whatever it is, but when push comes to shove, somehow over and over, that thing doesn't happen. Now, before you start blaming yourself or spiraling into shame or frustration or whatever, because that's not going to help anything, I want you to take a step back and explore with me what really gets in the way of your follow through so that you can solve it, right? It's not about a lack of motivation or desire. Trust me, guys, it's not because you don't care. It's not because you're lazy or weak or undisciplined. Here's the deal. there are two kinds of solutions, two paths to solve your struggles with follow through. And the solution must fit, absolutely must fit the underlying root cause, or it won't help you for the long haul. So I often say, in order to be effective, the solution must address the real root problem. Otherwise, any changes you're making aren't going to last for long. And those two avenues of follow through are the external and the internal. So on the external side of the solutions for follow through are the things that are, outside of your mind that support you when your executive functions are at the root of your struggles with follow through. So on the external side are the systems, tools, and strategies that we need to lean on to support our difficulties with things like memory, organization, and time management to make it easier for us to follow through. Again, I'm talking about things like, systems, tools, strategies, things like your calendar, a well-functioning task management system, planning, having supportive routines, rhythms, and structures in your life to support you, and so on. So having these external solutions or supports set up to work for you based on your natural strengths and tendencies and your actual life are tremendously important to being able to show up as the person you really are deep down and in the way you intend. So these external solutions are like scaffolding that support you in following through, making it easier for you to show up again in the way you intend and like the person you really are deep down. But if the root cause of your struggles with follow through are not external, they need internal solutions. That external superficial stuff is never going to help you change for the long haul if you need internal solutions. That's why so many of us, and I wish I could see like a show of hands or whatever, so many of us have shelves full of partially used planners, so many apps that are sitting there unused on your phones, and a trail of disappointment and frustration and frankly, dashed hopes behind us from all the systems and strategies and tools we've tried that we couldn't make last. If the real underlying root cause of what's getting in your way is coming from what's going on between your ears, your perspective, your thinking, your beliefs, that shiny new planner, that shiny new app, that cool system, tip, trick, or hack is never going to help you in any way that really matters. Sure, that new thing, that new tool, that new strategy might be interesting or energizing enough to give you a little boost in the beginning, but that superficial external stuff just won't help you for the long haul. And if you're still listening, I know you know what I'm talking about. Just about every single client that has ever come to me for help talks about the trail of planners, apps, tools, and strategies in their wake. But it's not their fault any more than it is your fault, right? Because just about every single client who comes to me for help has also developed some unproductive patterns of behavior that have come from faulty thinking and beliefs, thought patterns that can't be fixed by some new planner or app. So they're left feeling like a failure over and over again because they're trying to use the wrong solution for the actual underlying problem. And I'm talking about things like avoidance, overwhelm, and procrastination. They are all behavioral habits that have developed over time, patterns of thinking and patterns of patterns of behavior that have developed over time in direct response to unhelpful patterns of thinking. Okay, so I'm going to say that again because I kind of butchered it, but avoidance, procrastination, and overwhelm, they are behavioral habits that have developed over time. They are behavioral patterns that have developed over time in response to patterns of thinking that are not serving you. Okay, so they're unhelpful patterns of thinking that you've developed over time. So to break the cycle of poor follow through and shame that come from avoidance, overwhelm, and procrastination and those kinds of things, and to keep you from failing to follow through, right, you must address the root cause of that cycle. So I often say that in order to make the changes you want and make them last for the long haul, you need to address what's going on between your ears that's getting in your way. Again, I can't say this enough, guys. I hate to be a broken record, but I am going to repeat myself. Please remember that the solution must address the real root problem. Otherwise, any changes you're making aren't going to stick. So until you change your thinking about yourself, how you work, the things you need to do and want to do, and even about time, those external solutions, planners, systems, tips, tricks, apps, aren't going to help you. They're always going to let you down at some point. And again, it's not your fault. All right. The toughest nut to crack is probably the one between your ears. But the good news is that no matter what's getting in your way of following through, you can learn a different way. All right. I've done it myself. And I've helped thousands of people just like you do it over the last 17 plus years. So to help you get to the root of what's getting in the way of your productivity and follow through, I've developed a quick online quiz to identify your productivity type so that you can stop struggling, take control of your time and your life, and show up like the incredible person I know you are more easily and more consistently. So you can take the quiz with my compliments. There's no charge for this by texting the keywords my quiz. So that's MYQUIZ, no spaces, just all one word, my quiz, to the number 33777. So that's my quiz, all one word, to 33777. Or you can visit www.productivitybreakthroughquiz.com. I know it's long. And in just a few minutes, you'll learn your productivity strengths and weaknesses and get your customized results with personalized recommendations to help you get to the very bottom of what's getting in the way of your follow through so that you can solve it at the core and create the freedom and fulfillment you get when you unleash your true inner potential. Again, you can check it out at www.productivitybreakthroughquiz.com. Or you can visit the ADHD Support Talk podcast website, ADHDsupporttalk.com, and get the link in the episode description there. Or text, again, the word my quiz, all one word, to 33777. I hope you find the quiz helpful. I really hope you found this episode helpful and that I gave you some different ways to think about your challenges so that you can start to live the life you were born to live with plenty of time and energy left over for the things that really matter to you. Again, guys, I'm Lynne Edris, and as always, I appreciate your attention. Please feel free to join us in the ADHD Support Talk Facebook community to connect, ask questions, share your thoughts, suggest topics. We're there to support you, and we're all there to support each other. Thanks again, guys. I will catch you next time.